Good evening, AirPeace. 1 minute. I'm trying to get another tab open here. 1 minute. I had this all up and running earlier, but I had to restart my computer. Samantha Muster McDowell on B. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. And now I have to screen share. All right. This is too loud. I'm sorry. Give me a minute to adjust it. I know the music can be loud and annoying. Bear with me for a minute. Purple, good evening. All right. Ta-da! I got it all. Move the camera so it's actually looking at me and not over here. How are we all doing today? I hope we had a wonderful week. Janelle, I finally made it. It's only been like 3 months. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year to you, Janelle. I hope you are having a wonderful day. I have been in here for quite some time. So you can see my desk right now. It is one heck of a mess. Trying to get everything situated for doing all this, and I couldn't find my notes, couldn't find everything. So I'm like going through all my notes for the actual trivia questions. And I got them on pieces of paper, but normally I have them just on a clipboard. And I just have to look at the clipboard, read the note, the number, the letter for corresponding everything else. But not today. No, nothing quite worked out that way today. I made ham and beans. You love it? Well, that's good. I made a really good stew the other day. I took three ham hocks, put them in water, boiled them down with onion, carrot, celery, and then I let it reduce down, and then I put more water and I let it reduce down. I kept on doing that throughout the day until I ended up with about, I would say, 12 to 13, right in there ish, cups of water. Then I removed all the bones from it. Then I slowly brought it back, filled it back up with water, added more vegetables to it, potatoes, and I let it thicken on its own slowly. I did add a little bit of roux to it though towards the end, but then I threw pasta in with it and uncooked like dried pasta that you buy off the store shelf, and that thickened it up even more. So it's so good. Is Cement Shoes here? I haven't seen him yet. Maybe he forgot all about us already. I'm sure he'll be here. Sounds delicious. I love soups. That was really good. I made so much of it though. I built the entire stock pot. It was a good sized stock pot. I don't. It's like one of those Dutch ovens, pots. I made a whole pot of it. I gave a bunch of it to my mother-in-law and father-in-law for them. to eat because they, feel like a nice hearty stew. And but the meat that was in it, I cut up a ham, and so as it was cooking, it actually cooked the ham in it too, along with the ham hocks. I have a black-eyed peas soaking. I have tomatoes, chicken stock, and ham hock with ham still stuck on bacon, sausage, belly, peppers. Also, small roux, and to add, great minds think alike. They do. That sounds like a terrific soup. Um, I don't make many soups with black-eyed peas, or because there are certain members of my family that can't take the high protein like that. So I try to keep do more of a vegetable side of it, like celery, onion, carrots, radishes, uh, and maybe parsnips. Whatever I can get it in season, and I try to put in there. But it's really good. Good evening, Jennifer. Chat. Always look forward to this. Hello, Interp. Give it another couple here, and then we're gonna get this party started. It's gonna take a little bit of time for me to find the answers because the answers are, I can't show them to you, but they're on 3 separate pieces of paper. And they're not in order. So as the questions come up, I have to actually find the question. That's how these are the leftover trivia questions. There's only 15 of them, but there are 15 trivia questions that are left over. Some of them are leftover from serial killer trivia. Some of them are left over from stupid criminal hit trivia. Some of them are from international trivia nights. So these are, there's like 2 or 3 here from that, 2 or 3 from that. Make up 15 questions for tonight. So let's get this party started. Get the first question up on the screen. Get myself in my little window. Get my little window. There we go. Hello. I'm in my little window. I visited a group of people. They're busy discussing the Idaho 4 guy. Yeah. So they caught him back in Pennsylvania. I was kind of watching the press announcement on that today, the Idaho 4. It turns out that unfortunately, the family who believed that the Idaho Moscow Police Department was dragging their feet actually were following and trying to find this man all this time, and it turns out, well, that's where he skipped off to. Huh. I guess it makes you feel bad when you think that they're dragging their feet and they're not doing anything, to solve the murders of your loved ones, and all along that they were. Everybody, don't forget to give our dear Will a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Thank you, Jennifer. Little Will in the corner. Yeah, that's me. All right, get the first question up here. Here we go. First question. Actor Woody Harrelson, father is a real hired gun. Convicted of murder for hire, what is his real first name? Is it A, Williams, B, Scott, C, Brent, or D, Charles? Now I have to actually find the question about Woody Harrelson. And we got A and A so far. Where is that question? There it is. I don't know if Gemma is watching or not. She just had hand surgery. So I'd just like to give her a big shout out and hope she's healing well. Wow. I'm sorry that she just had hand surgery. I emailed her the other day and she hadn't gotten back to me yet. Now I know why. Well, I hope she's recovering, well. Love for Gemma. Good evening, Mel Stiller. Mel is going with D. Guessing C because I can. Yes, you can guess anything you want. Hey, and quickly, before I give you guys the answer here, I wanna give a big shout out to everybody that bought the T-shirt and hoodies. We sold 100 T-shirts and hoodies, 50 and 50, but it's 100 total hoodies and T-shirts in less than 2 days. And that they were E, Mountain Lion and Yugo, equals correct answer. An inside joke, obviously, for those who follow the trivia, but we sold 100 of them, in less than 2 days. So thank you to each and every one of you. I don't fulfill the actual orders. That's all done through Teespring. So they'll print them and then they will send them out to everybody. They should be there in approximately 18 days or so, because most of them go by the United States Post Office unless they're going outside the country. And I do not know where they were actually sold to. So, but thank you, everybody. Okay, get back to question number 1. Oop, gotta get myself my little window. Actor Woody Harrelson's father is a real hired gun. Convicted of murder for hire, what is his real first name? The correct answer is D as in dog, Charles. Charles is Woody Harrelson's father's real first name. All right, moving on to question 2. Missed that T-shirt deal? Darn it. Yeah, that's all right. There are other ones that the other T-shirt that's available right now is E. Meth is always the answer. Meth. I haven't checked to see if we have sold any of those yet. But all right, question 2. 6 world champions of poker, 8 of the top 20 poker players of 2020, all hail from this country. However, all gambling is illegal there. What country is this? A, Germany, B, Poland, C, Hungary, or D, Canada? Thank you, Interpeas. The reason why I think that they sold so fast, besides obviously that they were funny shirt and sweatshirt, is we priced them at $1 over actual cost, and we blew them out because they were good. The sweatshirts were $20 cheaper than anybody else is selling sweatshirts for. Personalized sweatshirts. And the reason why there was only 100 of them is because it was a limited color and that design cut of the actual sweatshirts and shirts. It was the end of the run, so they only had 100 of them, 50 and 50 of them available. But either way, I know people had to have gotten the joke behind it. So I'm guessing it was people who were probably here or have at least been in the trivia before. I was going to go with E, USA, but I'll go with Canada. Here we have, C, A, D, B, B. Oh, B's going with Poland. 6 world champions of poker and 8 of the top 20 poker players of 2020 all hailed from this country. However, all gambling is illegal there. What country is this? It could be C, though. Interpeas. E, Vegas. Good evening, So-So. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a wonderful week. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's a lot of the top poker players of all time. Well, at least for 2020, 8 of the top 26 previous world champions. All hail from this country, but yet all gambling is illegal there. I'm sure there's a reason why it's illegal there. Gambling is not for everybody. A lot of people have an addiction to it, so maybe that's why they make it illegal. Gambling is legal in Canada, I think. Laurie Sutton, hello, Laurie, and welcome. Why did people used to refer to Poland as people as Polacks? I do not know the answer to that. I did. Hope you had a great Merry Christmas. I did. Thank you very much. So, it was very relaxing until my son became very manic. I mean, he's 6, so he got overwhelmed by all the attention. The one thing that he absolutely loved the most, he could have cared less about half of the things he got. It was something that only cost $20. And it was a super, inexpensive gift, and it blew him away. And he's still playing with it and won't put it down. All right, question 2. The correct answer to question 2 is B as in boy, Poland. All forms of gambling are illegal in the country of Poland. Why? I do not know the answer to it. I don't have much background information on these questions. Question number 3. Have you updated your password yet for 2023? If not, you should do that as soon as possible. A data breach at this company got hackers into the system, and they stole 3 billion personal records of users. All because one employee didn't change their password. What company was this? Excuse me. Was it A, IBM, B, Microsoft, C, Google, or D, Yahoo? 3 billion personal records of users were breached by one individual not changing their password. We have casinos in Canada, says Mel. And that's true, Mel. But my son has issues with sight, sound, like overstimulation. My son has autism, and he's on the spectrum, but he can't deal with blinking lights, certain types of music. And a lot of people, but it was the overall experience being foreign to him. Christmas only comes once a year, but we had to kind of shut things down for a little bit and let him relax, cuddle him, and we were able to calm him down. And then eventually, we were able to carry back on with what we were doing. So it worked out. Philly Cat, good evening, and welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a wonderful week, Philly Cat. Is that why Microsoft employees was gunned down in Jacksonville, Florida last year? No, I would say that probably not have anything to do with it, Purple. I'm just looking on my notes here to see if I have anything else written down for this question. No, I do not. Asking for a friend. I'd say IBM could also be targeted. Once again. Yeah, my wife had her data hacked Her account information compromised by using her debit card, her red card at Target, and they gave us 1 year of credit monitoring for that. I was like, okay, but her information is still on the dark web. Wait, what? I'm in Jacksonville. B is going with D, Yahoo. So is going with A. Oh, I remember that. Sad. My grandchild always loved the boxes, $100 of toys, and they'd fight over the boxes. Yeah, the cat had my daughter's cat had more fun with the cardboard boxes, just jumping in and out of boxes and the wrapping paper. But I understand that though about the boxes. Sometimes the box is a heck of a lot more interested. Yahoo! We just got 3 billion personal Yahoo! We just got 3 billion personal records. Samantha Muster McDowell is going with a B. Jennifer Hill, holy smokes, smoke him if you got him. I will guess D. Goes with Jennifer Hill. All right, question number 3. The correct answer is D as in dog, Yahoo. Mel Stiller. The answer is D. It is D. Mel Stiller. All right. The individual who didn't change their password was he worked in the IT maintenance department. And when these hackers came in, they found a memo that said that there was a minor compromise and every employee needed to change their password. These hackers then went back through and found all the passwords that were on the server from before, and they just kept them, reapplied them to every single employee until one of them worked. He didn't change his password like he had been told to do. But Yahoo, the entire system was hacked because of that. 3 billion personal records. We had our 2-year-old grandson today. He has a bunch of new toys. However, we made a game today with 2 plastic hangers. Oh, that's cool. I have to change all my email accounts. Didn't even hear about this. All right, we're going on to question number 4. Rat is ladies and gentlemen, that should say art, not rat. I don't know why it says rat. Art. Art is in the eye of the beholder. What classic painting has had more attempts to steal it than any other? Art is in the eye of the beholder. What classic painting has had more attempts to steal it than any other? A. Electric Baby by pop artist Keith Haring. B. The Mona Lisa by Da Vinci. C. Starry Night by Van Gogh. Or D. American Gothic by Grant Wood. Which painting has had more attempts to steal it than any other? Good evening, Reichart. How are you doing? I hope you're not in South Dakota. If so, get the hell out of the state. You'll get stuck there. F the Dakotas. F the Dakotas. One of my favorite places is Glendive. I don't know if anybody's ever been to Glendive. one of my favorite places. Not a whole lot there besides methamphetamine, oil workers, and farming. But Glendive. Maybe C. That's the only one I would go after. Starry Night. One would be the beautiful Mona Lisa. Guessing B, I think she's most widely known. So, oh my. Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa, and I don't mean the song. Lori Sutton is going with C, Starry Nights. If I was going to own any of these paintings, I'd probably it'd probably be either A or C. A, because I've actually met the man, and C, because I just think that it's a great painting. I mean, all of these are classics, so. D, American Gothic, 100% of my money on the table. Don't forget to save money for the buffet. All right, question 4. Art is in the eye of the beholder. What classic painting has had more attempts to steal it than any other? The correct answer is B as in boy, the Mona Lisa. In the history, since the Mona Lisa has been displayed, there have been 1,106 different attempts to steal the Mona Lisa. And my sister was just there in France last week, and in order to get anywhere near the Mona Lisa, there's hundreds of people in the Louvre, I guess is where it's at. But they were in a crowd all the way to the back, and there are people that like ushers that move. They say move along, and they have to trying to get people from stopping and just staring at the the Mona Lisa for extended periods of time. But she took some photos and video of the Mona Lisa on her cell phone for me. But the Electric Baby, Keith Haring, is a pop artist. He's since passed. But if you're driving into Chicago, especially if you're on the Amtrak train, just before you pull into the Amtrak station, if you look out your left-hand side of the window of the train car, you'll see a giant piece of art of his that says, "Crack is whack." That's been up there for as long as I can remember. Crack is whack, but the Electric Baby, I would probably want either Electric Baby or the Starry Nights. I think Starry Nights is probably one of Van Gogh's best works, but that's just me. I'm on a roll. Well, I'm broke. I gambled 1,000. Told you to save money for the buffet. I just say that because it's the most depressing and bland. You've seen the Mona Lisa in Paris? Yeah, my sister and her husband just got back from Paris. They went to the Eiffel Tower. They took some dinner cruise, near the Eiffel Tower. Went to, did all the sightseeing, touristy things. The air whoever it was, I think it was United or whatever that they flew over there with, lost their luggage, and they didn't get their luggage until 2 days before they returned home. So once they got there, she got to go shopping in Paris for all the clothes that she needed while she was there. She's like, ha ha ha. But the airlines actually comped them $1,000 for losing their, misplacing their luggage. each, $1,000 each. But all right, question 5. December 8th, 1963 is a day this father will never forget. So much so, he spent the rest of his life to try to uncover who all was behind this nightmare of a day. What singer's son was kidnapped on this day? Was it A, Elvis Presley, B, Bob Dylan, C, Frank Sinatra, or D, Bozo the Clown? C, I know this one. They did, Samantha. They did, and it was super cheap, compared to like going in the summertime, like going off what they call off season, because they had planned last year to go, but the COVID thing hadn't gotten quite finished around the world, so they decided, hey, you know what, let's go now, out of season, but hotels, and there wasn't a lot of crowds, in the markets and everything else like there would be during the summertime. So they had a lot of fun, they said. E, Tom Jones. B or C, Momo. C, So-So's going with C. Does Cement Shoes come around anymore? Oh yes, every trivia. I haven't seen him yet tonight, but Cement Shoes definitely comes around every trivia. He might have gotten busy, or I have something else going on. Oh my goodness, D. They made a movie about that. But whoever this is spent the rest of his life trying to figure out exactly who was all behind it. Tom Jones. Love Tom Jones. E, Dr. Demento. I miss Dr. Demento's show on the radio. I used to listen to that all the time as a teenager. Yes, he's been here. He's supplied the questions for one of them. Yes, he did. He most certainly did. Who is it? Good to hear. I haven't been here for a while, and I'm just curious if he was still a Will Trivia Fly. He is. I'm sure if he'll pop in if he doesn't have something else going on. I mean, I don't know what he's doing right now. Maybe he's making up more trivia questions for us. All right. Well, question 5. The correct answer is C as in cat, Frank Sinatra. He paid a ransom of $240,000 to get his son back. And he was convinced that someone who he knew, who had mob connections, was eventually going to tell him who put the whole thing together and how they were connected. But Frank Sinatra spent the rest of his life investigating the actual crime, the kidnapping of his son. So C as in cat, Frank Sinatra. December 8th, 1963, his little boy was, well, not little. I think he was 19 at the time, somewhere in there. But his little boy was kidnapped. All right, next question. Question 6. During the Ottoman Empire, you could be sentenced to death for being seen in public consuming this beverage. Which one? During the Ottoman Empire, you could be sentenced to death for being seen in public consuming this beverage. Was it A, tea, B, wine, C, coffee, or D, milk? And by milk, it can be any form of milk. Milk from a goat, milk from a cow, milk, any type of milk. Which one of these could get you sentenced to death during the Ottoman Empire? I would love to know. Played D. Bozo the Clown, had his kidnapped. Well, the original Bozo the Clown wasn't that. Oh man, what was his name? He was a weatherman. For some reason, Stuart Scott. Stuart Scott? No, that ain't Stuart Scott. That ain't the name, is it? I'm close to it though. Stuart Scott. Willard Scott. Willard. But he was the original Bozo the Clown. And then he moved on to be a clown elsewhere long before he became a weatherman. And then eventually, I think he was like on Good Morning America as a weatherman forever. It's like Stuart Scott, Willard Scott, Willard. I think it's Willard Scott. What's his name? But he was like the original Bozo the Clown. Pretty sure of that though. I could be wrong on that though. But for some reason, I know he was a clown. But during the Ottoman Empire, you could be sentenced to death, if seen in public, for consuming a beverage. Red Bull doesn't give you wings. There's an interesting lawsuit, and Samantha Musser McDowell. Somewhere in my house, I received my coupon for 1 free can of Red Bull. It stems from the class action lawsuit. From people, some guy sued Red Bull because he never got wings. No joke. B seems easy answer, but as crazy as they were, it could be as crazy as coffee or milk, depending on which country it came from. C, milk. Elaine, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. F, fireball. Actually, B is your answer. It's going to be the answer we don't expect. I can guarantee you it's one of the 4 that are on the screen right now. Huh? How about that? Yeah? One of those 4 during the Ottoman Empire could have gotten you sentenced to death if you were seen drinking that beverage in public. Fireball is amazing during winter. Goes great with hot cocoa, does it? Ugh. I don't like Fireball. Well, I don't like cinnamon, so I mean, obviously Fireball is off my list of things I would want to drink. That's a good hit, Will. You're brilliant, Will. I mean, it is. It's. I guarantee you, it's one of the 4 that is on the screen. So sure of it. Will, are you generous to let us know? Um, it's one. You were so generous to let us know. Jaeger, Jägermeister. There was a time in my life when I drank Jägermeister. Every once in a while, it was okay. Not my thing. Sounds like the guy that went after Pepsi for the jet airplane. Well, inner peace. Water with Pepsi points. Yeah, he wanted to because they made it available that the as a joke that the Harrier jump jet was available for like some ridiculous amount of Pepsi points. And if you, you know, and you could buy at that time, you could buy the Pepsi points for so much money. And he figured out, if I buy the Pepsi points, get enough people together, buy it, I could buy this Harrier jump jet that costs like $30 million. I could get it for around 5 million. So why the hell not buy the Pepsi points? So he got people together to invest to buy, enough Pepsi points, and then they said, "No, man, that was a joke. We really didn't expect anybody to ever, come up with enough Pepsi points to be able to, redeem the Harrier jump jet." Yeah, he sued. Oh my God, it's probably coffee. My anxiety is getting the best of me. Question 6. During the Ottoman Empire, you can be sentenced to death for being seen in public consuming this beverage. Ladies and gentlemen, the correct answer to question 6 is C as in cat, coffee. Coffee. Now, you have to think about where the Ottoman Empire is and where the first cultivation of coffee beans came from. That is ridiculous because before coffee was ever brewed and the coffee beans were ground, nomadic tribes used to take the coffee and suck on the actual bean itself, and then they would take the coffee, seed, and they would mash it into a pulp, strain out the water, and then chew and suck on basically what would be like a chewing tobacco, if you will, of just coffee seeds. Talk about a rush. But eventually it worked its way to the point where somebody tried the water eventually along the line from after during the process. They're like, hey, this could be useful. We can still get the rise out of it. And that's where the really strong, brewed coffees and stuff along the lines before espresso was ever anything. The Ottoman Empire, just for drinking coffee in public, you could be sentenced to death. You're guessing right this evening? Rome. See, good old coffee was against the law. Wow. Yeah. All right, let's go on to question number 7. David Berkowitz wasn't the first killer to blame his crimes on an animal. Which one of these killers also blamed crime on an animal? Was it Bundy, Gacy, Ridgway, or Crippen? David Berkowitz wasn't the first killer to blame his crimes on an animal. Which one of these killers also blamed crime on an animal? You're gonna die because you drink coffee in public? Don't worry, Rykart. I do it every day. Every morning, I stop off and I have a small coffee, drip coffee. I don't like espressos and those fruity drinks. I just drink regular black coffee. I have a small coffee and I sit and I talk with, a couple of my friends who they work the graveyard shifts and they're just getting off. So they're getting ready to go home. And Monday through Friday, we try to get together, one day, at least one day a week. But other times it's like, I'll meet like two of them one day, one another day. And we always have a cup of coffee and just shoot the shit. And we do that in public. And here I am. I'm still alive. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. The hamster made me do it. The hamster. Good evening, Gala. E. Oh, it was Morphew. Morphew and the mountain lion. Billy Cat's going with D. Damn, this is a tough one. Blame on animal, I believe, is A or B, Gary Ridgway. I don't see that either No Clue or Krypton is. So I'll guess Cy go with D. J for Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm surprised Jeffrey Dahmer wasn't one of the options because he used to pick up roadkill, and his father encouraged him to take it home and dissect it and learn more about the animal. Why not blame the murders on an animal or crimes on an animal, right? Who is Crippen? Starfire? Dr. Crippen? A. Bundy, sicko. He should be on that list. So. David Berkowitz wasn't the first killer to blame his crimes on an animal. And for those who don't remember, Berkowitz said that his neighbor's dog told him to kill people. Yeah. So roadkill made me do it. Purple's going with A. I love Lucy. Oh, Lucy. You really done it now, Lucy. All right, question 7. David Berkowitz wasn't the first killer to blame his crimes on an animal. Which one of these killers also blamed crime on an animal? The correct answer is D, as in dog. Dr. Crippen. Now, Dr. Crippen, I don't know much about him and his crimes, but he was also the first person that was arrested from using a communication system that was in its early infancy from ship to ship. Dr. Crippen. Okay, moving on to question 8. But he blamed his crimes on an actual bird, not a dog, a bird. It was like a pet, like I don't know what cockatoo or something. Some kind of bird. Can't remember. Question 8. Who did Ted Bundy have a child with while he was on death row? Was it A, Carol Susan Smoot, B, Janelle Ann Kramer, C, Carol Ann Boone, Or D. Carol Elizabeth Timmons? Who did Ted Bundy have a child with while on death row? Big Bird? I'm kidding. About a C at this point. Rock Card's going with C. Carol Ann Boone. So-So's going with C as well. Stephanie Larson. That creepy bat. Oh my God. Purple and Starfire are both going with C as well. He married C. Who did Ted Bundy have a child with while he was on death row? I'll go with C since that's the grade I have thus far. She had to check her pictures. Never got into why this happened or how, but I know it was C. Fill us with the details, Will. I don't even know how it was even possible because they didn't have conjugal visits with death row inmates in Florida. That's the first part. How did this even happen? I'm sure they did something, and it was. And I hate to think of what the alternative is. Rose Bundy is Ted's daughter, says Mel. Inner Peace Lago went to the academy just a couple of years after I did. Did she? Wow. Immaculate Conception. C. Whom he married while on death row. Charles Manson. Perhaps a chain link fence encounter. I don't know. Maybe a guard turned their back for a quick 6 seconds of happiness for Ted. I don't know, but I hate to even think about how it happened or why she would want to have a child with Ted Bundy of all people, but she did. DNA proves that it's his daughter. Pigeon Mac, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. C, first time here. Welcome, Pigeon Mac. Mustard. Who did Ted Bundy have a child with while he was on death row? No, she was in LA. I was in Sacramento. The correct answer to question 8 is C, as in cat. Carol Ann Boone. And yes, she did marry Ted Bundy, and she had a daughter, Rose Bundy, with Ted. Not exactly sure why anybody would want to, but it is a very well-known little thing that people that are unattainable, that are on death row, get a lot of fan mail, a lot of love interest, a lot of pen pals, people who write them constantly and fall in love with them because they know they're never going to cheat on them. They're never going to hurt them, whatever the case may be, or Carol Ann Boone. She truly fell in love with Ted Bundy, even though he, was a serial killer. I just moved up to a B minus. There you go, Aunt B. All right, question 9. You're going to wear cement shoes. See, I even have a question for cement shoes. You're going to wear cement shoes. Mafia hitman Richard Iceman Kalinsky was born in which state? Is it A, Alaska, B, Minnesota, C, Wisconsin, or D, New Jersey? Christopher Watts gets all kinds of mail from men and women. He also has internet access working the streams, I guess. So people say. I'm not going to comment any further on if people contact Christopher Watts. I frankly do not care what happens with that man. I'm just waiting for the day he dies so we can bury his ass under Dodge Correction Center, closer to hell where he belongs. Man, I have no idea. B? See, if Cement Shoes was here, he'd know this answer right away. He is our go-to man for questions about the Iceman, Richard Kalinsky. He's going to see this in rewind and go, man, people were asking about me, and man, there's Cement Shoes question and everything here. Kalinsky, Minnesota? Mel Stiller's going with D, New Jersey. D. And then Mel jumps in with D for New Jersey. Hey, I'm waiting for that day 2. I'm just saying. He gets tons of fans. Oh yeah. Someone wake up Cement Shoes. Kayla jumping in with New Jersey. Someone go wake up Cement Shoes. I'm sure whatever he's doing is important. Even if it's sleeping. We all need to sleep sometime. Unless you're me. I never sleep. Question 9. The correct answer is D as in dog, New Jersey. He got the nickname Iceman because they said ice water ran through his veins. That he was cool, calm, and collective about it. And he was just a natural born killer. He was meant for the job to be a hitman for the mob. But I threw the other ones in there as possible answers because they're all cold-ass places. And his nickname is Iceman. But D as in dog is the correct answer. He killed and acted normal afterwards. Oh, yeah. And during. And during, too. He was just very methodical about exactly what he did. And he would have gotten away with it for a heck of a lot longer if it wasn't for the fact that he thought that he was talking to another hitman for the mob, and the two of them were trading kind of like war stories about different, subjects that they have killed, and taken out for the mob. But that person wasn't a hitman. It was an undercover police officer. Josie, New Jersey. I'll keep that in mind. All right, question 10. Until the year 2040, and maybe longer, where is the International Criminal Court held? Is it held in Canada, B, Netherlands, C, UK, or D, Washington, D.C., USA? Where is the International Criminal Court held? Now I have to find this question because it's not on this page. Oh, there it is. Pigeon Max is B. We've got D. Washington, D.C. Jennifer D? Question mark. I was an Iceman last week in the Dakotas. I'm so sorry you were stuck there, Reichart. That had to be miserable. Just sitting there waiting for your truck to get fixed. That's got to be terrible. E, at the IHOP. The International House of Pancakes. We actually, that's one restaurant that we have here. The International House of Pancakes, IHOP, or IBOP, or whatever the hell it was. International Burgers, or House, whatever they wanted to call themselves. But we have one it's a couple towns over for me. It's probably about 17 miles to it, but it's not that far. I mean, 17 miles. Till the year 2040, and maybe longer, where is the International Criminal Court held? And the reason why it says 2040 and maybe longer is because they vote on where they will hold the International Criminal Court hearings at. And it's been in this place wherever it is now. It has been there for quite a long time, but in 2040 they will look at it again if they should move the international courts, and maybe it'll move, maybe it won't. I love IHOP. The one nearest to me closed down. Oh, I'm sorry, Jennifer. It's B or C, I think C. Just around the block, right, Will? Yeah. We don't have IHOPs there where you are, Mel. I know it's B. I've been there. I commuted a couple times a week with my cousins. Netherlands. Oh. Julie Page. I'm guessing with no E, it's still Julie. Julie Page. Welcome to trivia. I hope you had a wonderful week. Thank you for joining us, Julie. Is it the Hague? My hubby's cousin worked at an international criminal court. Oh, did he? Worked at the International Criminal Court? Netherlands is the place. Question 10. Until the year 2040, or maybe longer, where is the International Criminal Court held? The correct answer to question 10, ladies and gentlemen, is B as in boy, the Netherlands. And yes, it is in Hague, but it's spelled H-A-Q-U-E. Hague. Or G. I always want to spell it wrong too. So we're not here for grammar or spelling today. Granny Bell's dinner has a very best pancakes and blueberry toppings, all homemade. Ooh. Hog. Might have misspelled. Yeah, it's all right. We're not, like I said, we're not here for spelling and grammar today. Obviously, you know, if we were grading this, these trivia nights on grammar, I would give myself an F. All right, moving on to question 11. Which one of these is not a class of offenses in any country in the United Nations? Is it A, offense against property, B, offense against person, C, offense against nation, or D, offense against nation flag? Which one of these is not a class of offenses in any country in the United Nations? I think it might be spelled Hague, because Q wouldn't be right. It has to be Hag, Og, or however you pronounce it. I should have known this. I studied the dictionary in 10th grade, and one of the points where Hag, which I had to spend time researching the definition. Wow. Lemon pie, good evening. I hope you had a wonderful week, Lemon Pie. You will note that there is one person missing from tonight's trivia, Lemon Pie. We have not seen Cement Shoes. We think he is MIA. He may have fallen asleep, or he's busy doing something else. But he's not here. And people are wondering where he is. I hope you've had a great week, Lemon Pie. Lemon meringue pie? Oh, I did lemon pie. I definitely did have a great week. Thank you. All these questions, a lot of them they're leftover trivia questions from different trivia nights. Some of them are serial killers. Some of them are international crime questions. Some of them are dumb criminals. You know, they're a little bit of a leftover from everything. Will, Gemma went through her operation yesterday. Okay, offense against pie for E. Thank you, Samantha. Well, I like I said, I emailed her, and I hadn't received a response yet. Normally, you know, Gemma responds back right away, if not the same day, the very next day. So, I mean, I totally understand if she had surgery or whatever, even if she was busy. You know, it's not like she has to respond back to me right away. Cement Shoes is MIA. He still is. We haven't seen him. Which one of these is not a class of offenses in any country in the United Nations? Oh my God. Now I want some pie. She can't use her hand. I understand that as well. Pie! Now we all want pie. Pie with some homemade, you know, whipped cream, made out of heavy whipping cream, real vanilla extract, sugar, you know, and put it in the mixer and mix it up until you get those nice stiff, you know, peaks on it. Be right back. I need a snack. My friend told me that pie is overrated. I kicked them out of my house. There are some people, though, Gayla, that do not enjoy pie. I have met a couple who really do not enjoy pie. They are down for any type of cake ever made, but they don't enjoy pie. Cherry pie with ice cream. There you go. I made a really good Bing cherry pie for Christmas for our gathering here. I made it from scratch, with using Bing cherries. I had canned the Bing cherries this past summer, and so it took 2 jars of the Bing cherries I canned them in the wide mouth ball jars, and there's no juice in there, but so they were by themselves, but they were pitted, and when I canned them, and it was really good pie, to say the least. Best pineapple pie slurp. Ooh, sounds good. I'll take pie over cake any day. Lena, yep, cake is up there. Pumpkin pie, your fave, Mel Stiller. Well, I posted my mother-in-law's pumpkin pie recipe on the community tab here on YouTube. So if you scroll down, you can find that. We always make pumpkin pie, and we don't even make it just during the holidays. We make pumpkin pie all year round. I'm a cheesecake girl. Made eggnog cheesecake for Christmas. Ooh, that sounds good. Well, I think I'm gaining 20 pounds just reading this comment section. Well, let's get on, move on back onto the questions here. Question 11. The correct answer to question 11 is C as in cat. Offenses against the nation or nation. None of them have any class of offenses against nation. And I will be the first one to tell you that I'm confused by that. But that's the trivia question. Old school truckers only eat cherry pie. I didn't grow up with pies. The closest thing to pie would be a tort. Torts are good. Cherry pies for breakers on the side. Tambali. All right, question 12. Which criminal mastermind is a formidable enemy of Sherlock Holmes? Is it A, Dr. Watson, B, Professor Moriarty, C, Trenda Norton, or D, Bob the Builder? That's why I don't live there. No offense. You bet. Well, I'll check it out. I'm eating homemade divinities with walnuts. Ooh, that sounds good. We had pumpkin cheesecake for Thanksgiving. I made a papaya cheesecake for my niece's birthday in August. Man, that's what's great about cheesecakes, though. You can flavor them with so many different things, though. Oh my God, I love walnuts. It's almost impossible around here to get. We have black walnut trees everywhere, but you can't find them. They get snagged up all the time by these different groups. They go around. If you have walnut trees, they'll come and harvest them all for you. A lot of but they're not even buying them for the food. They're buying them for the when they're green. They'll come in and pick the green walnuts because they're using them to make stain. And shellacs for furniture. Black walnuts. They pick them when they're green. Cut them, snip them right off the tree. Oh, I have walnut whip, UK chocolate. I made banana bread brownies with walnuts. That sounds good. Black walnuts. Ice cream, my favorite. That answer sounds wrong, but who am I to argue? We are not in the United Nations. B. Professor Sarducci. Guido Father Sarducci. The killer pimp himself, Father Guido Sarducci from Saturday Night Live. My dad bought us some Omaha steaks for Christmas. We got the chicken sausage steaks, burgers, and a few desserts. The burgers but the caramel apple pies individuals were 100%. That sounds good. I make my wife these little tiny individual cakes, and then I put caramel like topping on it. Not like a squeeze bottle like caramel. I buy actual caramels that are wrapped up individually, and I melt them down in a double boiler, and then I put the caramel over the top of a Dutch chocolate cake. But they're each individual is only about like that big of a little cake, so it's about that big around and about that deep in a little plastic containers, and then she can take them to work in her lunch. Perfect chocolate chip cookies, shoe fresh out of the oven, making me fat, right? I feel like I've gained 20 pounds just reading this comment section tonight. All right, which criminal mastermind is a formidable enemy of Sherlock Holmes? I don't make a good pie, except maybe apple. The answer to question 12 is B as in boy, Professor Moriarty. Killing me, Will. I don't have any sweets right now. Oh, I'm sorry. Not fat, cuddly. There's a difference. Question 13. What world famous star was arrested in 2008 in a public restroom with Class A and Class C drugs on them? Was it A, George Michael, B, Prince, C, James Brown, or D, Boy George? What world famous star was arrested in 2008 in a public restroom with Class A and Class C drugs on them? Enemy of the person. But what has it? Definitely been for past 20 years. All of Kayla's going with all of them. 2008, arrested in a public restroom. Karen Cato, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia, Karen. I hope you had a wonderful week. Inner Peace is going with E, Pee Wee Herman. And I'm so happy I saw that before I started to drink my soda. Because otherwise, there'd be soda all over everything. Pee Wee Herman. And we all know what Pee Wee got into trouble with. I wrote a song about it. Like to hear it. Here it goes. Here at Pee Wee's Playhouse. A whole bunch of A's. Thank you, Pigeon. I just turned 8 years old. Turned my 8-year-old nephew onto the Playhouse. The original Pee Wee's Playhouse. Oh, naughty boy. It's 2:21 a.m. in Great Britain. Well, Ireland. Uh, what world famous star was arrested in 2008 in a public restroom with Class A and Class C drugs on them? Oh yeah, not the Broadway show. Was it A, George Michael, B, Prince, C, James Brown, or D, Boy George? Who was arrested in 2008 in a public restroom? Hugh Grant. Well, Hugh Grant was arrested with a transsexual prostitute. Love Prince. Unfortunately, I didn't appreciate his music the one time I got to see Prince. He played with Abalonia. I didn't appreciate it at all. I thought he was just a freak. But I was there for a different type of music, and I wasn't expecting someone like Prince to be there playing music. You miss Prince, love Prince, me too. Crying Tracy song. All right, what world famous star was arrested in 2008 in a public restroom with Class A and Class C drugs on him? The correct answer was A, as in apple, George Michael. He was a freak. I hear you, Will. To each their own. Yep. Whatever makes you happy, as long as you don't hurt someone else. Prince claimed he never did any drugs. Oh, except for propofol. But that was prescribed by a doctor. Question 14. We have all heard of Jack the Ripper crimes. However, when the crimes were happening, they weren't called the Ripper crimes or even Jack the Ripper crimes. What were they called? A, the West End murders. B, the Westie murders. C, the White Castle murders. Or D, the Whitechapel murders. Ozzy Osbourne doesn't do drugs. You don't like anybody that does. And he doesn't like anybody that does. DDD. Okay, Ozzy. And all the things that are wrong with Ozzy, those all came natural. I'm guessing wrong on that one. We've all heard of Jack the Ripper crimes. However, when crimes were happening, they weren't called the Ripper crimes or even Jack the Ripper crimes. What were they called? As long as you do it with the consenting adult. Very true. As long as you're not hurting anybody, that's all that matters. West End murders, the Westie murders, the White Castle murders, or the Whitechapel murders? E, Jack Tripper, Three's Company. Come and knock on our door. We've been waiting for you. With it. What's the next line? Where his and hers, we've been waiting for you. Come and knock on our door. I didn't like it when they brought Don Knotts on. I like the original. The original Three's Company. Never keep score. Forgot to answer half the questions. LOL. Like they say in Belfast, I'm here for the cake. Where the kisses are hers and his. Three's company too. As a landlord in person, I mean, I like Don Knotts as a comedian. I just didn't like him when they brought him on the show, when they got rid of the Ropers, and then they changed up, the two roommates, the one that they got rid of Chrissy and Janet, and they brought in the two other actresses to be Jack Tripper's roommates. It just wasn't the same show to me then. Love Three's Company. Hey, Will you be on air tomorrow morning? No, I will not. This is my, here, I'll even put it up on the screen. There. This is the last live stream that I will be doing for 2022. I will have no live stream tomorrow. I will not be in town. Tomorrow morning at 2 a.m., I am leaving town at 2 a.m. Mr. Furley wasn't a good vibe. It wasn't that it wasn't a good vibe. It just wasn't the same to me. Sometimes when you replace actors and people that you've grown to, accustomed to, you kind of get an understanding of who they are in a show. And when they change an actor or an actress within the actual show itself, it just kind of takes it in a different direction. And I mean, Don Knotts by himself is a hilarious comedian, and I can understand why they brought him in to be the landlord. To be that sidekick, slap comedy kind of, individual, but it just wasn't the same. I'm not flying Southwest. No, Gayla, I'm actually driving. But I'm leaving town. See, you got everything packed up, ready to go, Will? No, I haven't done anything. I've been in here in this studio pretty much all day, making sure that I have my my videos ready for tomorrow. I've got to have the podcast, the taco podcast. It's got to be good and up and ready, and then we have to have everything else ready to go as well. Great time. I will, thank you. Driving is the only way to travel. $5 p.m. ribeye. So it's going to be a kind of a flyby, seat your pants pack. Hope you don't forget anything. Yeah. I'm not going to be gone that long. I'm not sure exactly if I'm going to leave at 2 tomorrow, or if I'm going to leave tomorrow afternoon. So I really shouldn't even say that I'm going to leave at 2 a.m. It all depends on someone else who I'll be traveling with. If they're on what they call a standby call-in menu, not menu, but a standby call-in. If they have to work, we will leave in the afternoon. If they don't, and they find out beforehand today that they don't have to work, then we're leaving at 2 a.m. It's just going to put more of a crunch into the drive time and everything else. But I'm not going to be gone that long. Well, thank you, Rycart. He was forced to leave Black Sabbath due to his drinking and erratic behavior. Sharon, his wife, was his saving grace. If it wasn't for her family ties, Ozzy would have been nothing. Nothing better than Ozzy with Sabbath. All right. Question 14. The correct answer is D as in dog. The Whitechapel murders. Whitechapel murders. Let me get over here to the other screen. Question 15. Don't get played like a sucker. Conspiracy theories even fool the courts from time to time. In 1981, one such conspiracy got the court to exhume a man just to test his DNA. Who was it they were proving was in the coffin? Was it A, Lee Harvey Oswald, B, Jack Ruby, C, John Kennedy, or D, Bobby Kennedy? Don't get played like a sucker. Conspiracy theories even fool the courts from time to time. In 1981, one such conspiracy got the court to exhume a man just to test his DNA. Who was it they were proving was in the coffin? We got A, B, A. Starfire's going with A. Karen is going with A. Gail is going with B. Kojak. Telly Savalas. Kojak. With his lollipop. His sucker. E, Ozzy. A or B? Right card's going with B, Jack Ruby. The CIA coined the phrase conspiracy theory. And wouldn't that just be crazy in itself? The CIA comes up with conspiracy theory. That's a conspiracy theory in itself, isn't it? And then that's a conspiracy theory of the conspiracy theory. Who's looking at you, babe? Who loves you, babe? They don't have television shows like those anymore. And it's sad. It's sad that they don't. Oh, I got to watch Netflix the other day. I did. That's the first time in probably, maybe 2.5 months, somewhere in there. I don't know. The last thing I watched before that was the Jeffrey Dahmer thing on Netflix. But I got to watch Netflix the other day. For all those out there, if you're a baseball fan, or maybe your husband or your grandchild or son or daughter or whatever, somebody you know in your life, if they are a baseball fan, there is a really good show on Netflix about Nolan Ryan, the Hall of Fame pitcher Nolan Ryan. It goes into his background of him becoming a baseball pitcher and everything else, and it goes through from the beginning of his career all the way through, and it brings in his family and how important it was in his life. It's a really good show, but it's on Netflix. Because every time I go on the Netflix, I'm always in the documentary section of Netflix. But I got to watch that the other day. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you, Will, for another year of wonderful information and fun on your channel. You have made my year better with your channel. I so enjoy you and everyone's company. Well, thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate it. Batter up. Batter up. Yeah. Yeah, I used to work there just long enough to sample the candy. Ooh. My mom was pregnant with me when JFK was assassinated. Oh. They just couldn't let Oswald rest in peace, says Mel Stiller. I love documentaries. I love history in itself. Oh man, I could never work there. It would be dangerous. Loved Kojak. I used to like watching Kojak and Starsky and Hutch. And my favorite show was SWAT, mid 70s show that was on television. SWAT, Rampart. Um, and then, moving into the 80s, I can't remember exactly when it started, but then there was Hill Street Blues. I've been destined to be in this where I am right now today for an awfully long time. I love true crime, and I love shows about crime and everything else. Who starts these conspiracy theories? Who claim to be against them? Well, this is the first trivia I started watching. You read Josh Duggar skits. That was so funny. Thank you, and be happy in 2023. Peace to all of you. You are so nice. Oh, thank you, Julie. I appreciate it. And I'm going to be looking into doing the skits on my other channel. I just got too much backlash from the community here, not from the people who are in the stream right now, but from the community itself. They didn't want comedy on the channel. I thought it was funny, and I still enjoy doing it. So it very well may come back in 2023. I had my tonsils out the day JFK was shot. Oh. Radar was a pimp? Radar. Are we talking about Radar O'Reilly from MASH? All right, well, I'm going to answer question 15. The answer to question 15 is A as in apple. Lee Harvey Oswald. The conspiracy theory behind the reason why they exhumed his body to test it for DNA is that Lee Harvey Oswald was not in the coffin, that Jack Ruby actually shooting him in the garage of the police, station, all of that was faked, and that he wasn't dead, and he was actually a scapegoat, and he had left the United States and had lived a full natural life in Russia. That he was a CIA operative. That is the entire conspiracy around it. So they exhumed his body to test it for DNA, to compare it against family DNA, and it turned out the body in the casket, in the coffin, was that of Lee Harvey Oswald. He really was dead and had been buried all along. That was in 1981 that they exhumed him to do DNA testing, and since then they have, as DNA and everything else is advanced, they have thusly proven again by retesting it that it is definitely Lee Harvey Oswald. And it's funny how that conspiracy all starts. I don't know who started it, originally, but once it's been proven, the conspiracy then takes on a whole nother twist. Because now he was a patsy for the CIA, so of course the testing has been proven to it's Lee Harvey Oswald that in the coffin, because he was a patsy all along, and so the conspiracy takes on a whole nother. And once someone proves that wrong, it'll just morph itself again and again and again. So. That is the 15 questions on tonight's trivia. I watch Adam 12. Ooh, I forgot all about Adam 12. Where is JFK's brain? Wasn't it put in formaldehyde? Or at least that's some reason off the top of my head. That's where I think it was like preserved or something. Smithsonian, I don't know. The basement of some medical, place. I don't know. Time flies. I actually have a copy of the Warren Report. I have the book in the house, the Warren Report. If you ever want to read something that is very, very drawn out, not filled with a lot of information, but there is some in there. They'll definitely, proving different aspects of the whole thing. I would really love to, if somebody would have found that, what do they call it, the grassy knoll, the lady with the camera. If somebody would have found that footage, but it's never appeared. Again, another conspiracy behind that. Anything that is unknown has got a conspiracy behind it. I have the book. It was in a free book pile at a garage sale. Look at how everyone online tried to make something from nothing. It's the me back in the day, but word of mouth. It's the babushka lady. Yeah. All right. Anybody want another trivia question? I have more that never made it into this tonight. So let me know if you want another bonus trivia question. Yes, sure. All right. Here's a bonus question for you. I don't have an A, B, or C for any of these. They're just answer the question if you know what the answer is. So the first one is, what notorious criminal was the first person named public enemy number 1? Do you know who was the notorious criminal that was named the first person to be named public enemy number 1? Don't have any options for that one or the other one. Al Capone. Thank you, So. I appreciate it. Osama bin Laden. Michael Jackson. Public enemy number 1. Aunt B is going with Dillinger. The rap group Public Enemy. NWA. NWA, Public Enemy number 1. Hitler, Ozzy, Capone. What notorious criminal was the first person named Public Enemy number 1? U.S. or elsewhere? In the United States. In the United States. And to narrow it down, the FBI has a list of top wanted criminals, and they have a number 1 person they call the public enemy number 1. Who was the very first public enemy number 1 on that list in the United States? I'm going with Jack the Ripper. Bin Laden had a better internet connection from his cave than you do in your house. So is going with John Dillinger. The correct answer for that is yes. John Dillinger was the very first FBI's public enemy #1. All right, so going back to the trivia questions, the last one, I was going to add this one to it. How old was Lee Harvey Oswald when he killed John F. Kennedy? Allegedly killed John F. Kennedy. How old was Oswald on that day? Damn, the FBI was slacking. Speculation the Capone lived under a local restaurant here. Pigeon Mac is going with 32 on B, 39, 35. Gail is going with 23. He didn't. 36, right card. How old was Lee Harvey Oswald when he allegedly shot John F. Kennedy from the book depository building? What was that? Second floor or third floor? I think it was second floor. Purple is going with 24. Janine, 37. Janice is going with under 40. Mr. Grayson, the book depository. Cement shoes would know. So right? How old was Lee Harvey Oswald when he allegedly shot JFK? Miss Murder, I'm sorry I haven't been able to join. So busy with these assignments. I'm sorry. I'm sorry also that I wasn't able to take your call. I'll email you, why. I don't want to put it out here on the public, airwaves right now. But I'm true. I hope you got my email. I see you responded back. I haven't even had a chance to open the emails yet. But Interpeas, welcome, Miss Murder. Miss Murder, nice to see you. All right, how old was Lee Harvey Oswald when he allegedly shot JFK? He was 24 years old at that time. For those who say that it would have been physically impossible for him to shoot that rifle, my friends and I, we've proven that you can get off multiple rounds in the same period of time. It's not impossible. To someone like a Marine who was trained with that rifle, it's not impossible at all. But the rest of it, there's a lot of issues with. All right, let's see if there's any other ones on here. We answered that one. We answered that one. That one we did. And we answered those. That's pretty much it. I mean, I've got interesting notes on here. Like, what is the average age? Most of the age of an individual male who commits their first criminal act in the UK. At what age is a male in the US more likely to commit a criminal act? in the US, and I have it in the UK, and then I have it for female and for male. In case you're wondering, there's no reason to make this as a trivia question, but the average of most likely a male to commit a criminal act in the United States is 17. It's 18 in the UK. A female, what age is a female most likely to commit a criminal act in the United States? Is in the United States is 16, and in the UK it's 15. Yeah. And be sure to thumbs up before checking out. 33.333333. Gangs. 19. Wowza. Very, very similar ages, and for the same demographic reasons. You have to, before you put statistics together like that, of like what age is would a male in the United States or in the UK be more likely to commit a criminal act. You have to look at the education system, their social economic level. Are they coming from a single parent household? All those things play into it. And where did the actual data come from? Who compiled it? Did they take those things into account? That's why they say the best thing about statistics is you can make the numbers support whatever you want. That's the best thing about statistics. I was born the year Etzel came out. Not crime trivia, but what TV shows came out the year you guys were born? I looked my year of birth and I was shocked. I don't know. So I'll look really quickly and see what TV shows came out. TV shows. Let's see. Bewitched. Gunsmoke. The Red Skelton Hour. I don't know if these are right or not. It just says on IMDb.com shows that came out during the year I was born, but it gives you a wide span, so I can't, all depends. But that's what I can read in the actual description of the IMDb. I was born the year that Etzel came out. Gilligan's Island. Interesting little tiny bit of trivia about Gilligan's Island. The cove in the opening credits of Gilligan's Island, where the USS Minnow is grounded a ship on the shore of this uncharted desert island with Gilligan, the skipper, to right, where Gilligan's Island, that cove where the boat was shown ashore, that is where Imelda Marcos lived the rest of her life. And who is Imelda Marcos? She was the first lady. Her husband, Marcos, Imelda Marcos, and his wife lived. They were in charge of like president and first lady of the Philippines. After they were overthrown and kicked out of power, they fled to America. Now, you may remember Imelda Marcos. She had the 10,000 pairs of shoes. While half of her country couldn't, afford even basic necessities to live and survive, they had all this money. And even now, people don't learn because, well, it's a whole other political scandal with the family still there. But they bought that part of the land in Hawaii, and she lived out the rest of her years there. in Hawaii, where they shot the cove scene for Gilligan's Island. Little tiny side note. Honeymooners, the $64 million question. Oh, the shoe lady, the Marcos. Yeah. Marcos Polos. But that's where my brother-in-law's family comes from. He was in charge. His dad was the top general in the Marcos military, and when they got overthrown and kicked out of office, they all fled here to America for the most part. Some fled to other countries, but they, for the most part, they fled to America, and that his dad moved here, and that's where my brother-in-law came from, and then he obviously married. Years later, he met my sister and married her. It's a really interesting conversations. You know, you can learn a lot about stuff like that if you just sit down and you listen to the elders in the FALAM, which is the Filipino American Society, because a lot of their families were connected to that coup and everything else and moved here. It's like listening to an audio, history book. It's really interesting. Everyone have a safe and fun New Year. You as well, Gayla. It makes us New Year. I like knowledge. Knowledge is a good thing. Yes, please be safe. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap things up here. I thank you all again for stopping in and playing trivia. And I hope you all have a wonderful and safe New Year's Eve, and I will see you again after, in the New Year. The first trivia will be right after the New Year, so Friday, obviously. But I will see you again soon enough. Everyone, stay safe out there. Until next time. Oh, it's been my pleasure, Inner Peas. Thank you, Aunt B, So, Purple Wings, Cement Shoes. I know you're MIA tonight, but that's all right. We forgive you. Janice, good. Everyone